Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt. Today, we're reviewing the brand new Old Fitzgerald 7-year bottled in bond. Chung! America. Old Fitzgerald 7-year bottled in bond is a wheated bourbon from the Heaven Hill Distillery. It comes in this sleek, skinny decanter style bottle, which isn't as cool as the Big Brother Old Fitz decanter style bottles, but it's still pretty sleek looking. It's like Fat Matt, and then when Matt lost his weight, and then back to Fat Matt. This is the ideal Old Fitz bottle. This is the ideal shape of Matt. This 7-year variety says it was distilled in spring 2018 and then bottled in 2025. Reading the label, you don't change a classic to preserve it. Many things have changed since 1870, many things have changed since 1870, but good taste is always in style. In the beginning, Old Fitzgerald was served exclusively in private clubs and on steamship and rail lines. By mid-century, it became a mainstay of the bar and the first choice for entertaining. Today, this 7-year-old expression of Old Fitzgerald is your key to hospitality. Made under the exacting standards of the Bottled in Bond Act with a whisper of wheat. Bourbon of this quality is worth sharing. I will be the judge of that. By the way, big huge shout out to Zoe and Dwayne Clow, who gifted me this bottle of Old Fitz because I haven't seen it in my neck of the woods, but up where they live, found a couple of them. Thank you, Dwayne and Zoe, for this Old Fitz bottle and bond. A little bit of a swirl, a little bit of a spin job, going in for a nose. Whew. This is my second taste of this bottle, my second dip into it, and first dip into it, I didn't pick up as much corn as I'm picking up here. This has a pretty expressive grain note to it. A little bit of corn, a little bit of nuttiness. Some of that wheated funk is coming through that you normally get on a wheated bourbon, but overall a very sweet nose. To be totally honest, the first time I smelled and tasted this, I was like maybe a little bit more happy with how it smelled. This time around it smells more youthful, a bit younger. Old Fitzgerald 7-year going down the hatch. That is nice. There is nothing off-putting about that at all. The typical Heaven Hill nuttiness, the extra nuttiness that you get on sub-10-year Heaven Hill products, is there in the slightest bit. It's like a dusting of nuttiness, which I can appreciate. I can appreciate how not nutty it is. Second sip, the wheated funkiness is starting to show its face a little bit more, starting to peek around the corner. Like checking out what's happening in the other room, trying not to be obvious to the people in the other room that it's seeing what the people in the other room are doing, but the people in the other room are ignoring the fact that they can see the peeper peeking around the corner, but they're not giving it away. They're acting completely oblivious to the fact that they know that they're onto him, that they're well aware they're being spied on, but don't want the peeper to know, because if the peeper knows, the peeper will stop peeping and then be all weird around them later because they noticed he was peeping. And if he knows that they know that he was peeping, then they're gonna be like weird around him and stuff. Nobody likes to be weird around anybody, even if there was a peeper peeping, especially if the peeper was peeping on something private. But if the peeper was peeping on something public and maybe just a nice conversation, then it's not worth bringing it up to the peeper. The peeper just might have been curious. And if a peeper is peeping curiously on something public, does that make the peeper a bad person? Or does that make the peeper a person who's just privately peeping on public? Personally, I don't understand how I got here or what I'm even talking about, but no idea. Third sip. Oh, the wheated funk. The wheated funk is starting to peek its head. I can see it. I can tell. Long story short, it's like a bitter brown sugar, like a bitter sugar cookie, like a bittery kind of funky sugar cookie. It's hard to explain the wheated funk. It's kind of like a bittery, puckery, strange. You'll know it when you taste it. Most weeded bourbons have it, especially younger ones. Once you get to the 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29.
you know, once you get up in age, that weeded funk starts to disappear a little bit. Because the longer it sits in oak, that weeded funk is slowly replaced with oak. But for $60, which is the MSRP on this bottle, this Old Fitz 7 year is no joke for a younger weeded bourbon that I'm sure the masses will enjoy. At 100 proof and 7 years old, I think this might be, possibly, I'll have to do a side-by-side, a bourbon skirmish to find out for sure if I'm accurate with this or not. But due to the lack of nuttiness on this Old Fitz 7 year, due to its lack of nuttiness, I think that if you like Weller 107, you might want to obtain this. It doesn't have the same Buffalo Trace sweet cherry flavor profile as the Weller line does, but it also lacks a lot of the bad qualities and bad characteristics that some younger weeded bourbons have. Typically, I say if you love Weller and you can't find Weller, your best bet is to find another Buffalo Trace product, because weeded or not, they share the same flavor profile. I think personally, possibly, this could be the closest to matching that Buffalo Traciness, but when I taste them side by side, I'll probably realize I'm wrong. Probably wrong about that. There's a sweetness, which I would say is a corn sweetness, but then a little bit of a black pepper spice as well. It isn't super viscous or super mouth coating. It is very approachable. The finish I wouldn't say is great or even good. I'd say the finish is like okay, not exactly long lasting. It kind of hits the palate, makes a wave, and then dissipates. For $60, I think that if you love weeded bourbon, or if you just want a fancy bottle on your shelf, I would say that it's definitely a buy. Would I pay $100 for a bottle? No. But for $60, hells yeah, it's a buy all day. What score do I give it? Old Fitz Bottled and Bond 7 year receives a score from me today of 7.45. It is good, bordering on very good. If you were wondering how the 10-year-old Fitz stacks up to the 7 year, it's a little better. Not much. You know what? I think I like the 7 year better. The 10 year from 2023 has a weirdness to it that I dislike. It tastes like putting your tongue on a battery, and that is not fun. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey, like I always say. Keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on sticking around to the end of this video. It's the Whiskeyland TV second episode in a 6-episode docu-series of Barrel King that's all about me, which is super weird, but it's the truth. It's the truth. They recorded me crying a lot, so you probably see me cry about something. These Whiskeyland TV guys better make me look good, otherwise I'm driving to friggin' New York and beating them with a tire iron. One at a time. I'll beat one of them and make the other brother watch while I do it. See that? That's what's gonna happen to you for making me look bad on film. I told you, hear up only. Fuck that. Just kidding, I'd never do it. I'd probably just run him over with an old Toyota Corolla that I picked up from my parents' house in Michigan that was unregistered and uninsured. No VIN number or license plate. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, Alec. Unsolved Moida. Also kidding about that. I love you guys.